What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to be giving you guys a guide onto the art of camp building in Fallout 76. In today's video, I want to hopefully meticulously break down a process step by step, and I also want to give you guys an informal on how I build my camps, how I approach them, and little tips and tricks that I've learned through playing the game. First and foremost, I want to go through the steps that I kind of have written down. I want to tell you guys how you should approach it, what you should do, and what you need to do when approaching it. I think for step one, first and foremost, you need to kind of scout for a location. You need to consider proximity to resource, strategic advantages, and a view that suits your taste. A well-chosen spot can make all the difference. Let me tell you this. Now, this video, I will actually have a build that I have not yet completed. And as you guys can see, I have a meticulously placed camp. I have these two beautiful pines right here. And I have this camp situated perfectly, not, not like as if it were to be pointed this way. But I have it into a location that I personally like. This is my favorite type of build, style of build. 1400s, 1500s. And this one here is my celebration hall, or town hall. And this camp isn't finished, so do not bash. But, as you can see, I have here the large table in which the celebration will happen after a conquest or, victory or succession of something. But as you can see, everything in here, wavy willards for the walls. These roof pieces are definitely something you don't see too often. These were specifically placed and designed to fit the mold of the build. As you can see up top, these flat pieces overhang. This statue is actually an ally. These candles are actually used to hold these antler chandeliers. And, I could dive into all of that. That could be, for a later video, guys, if you are interested in that. But if you take all of these things into account, I took location into account, which is step one. Step two is blueprint planning. Now, before laying down just even a single piece of foundation, you want to sketch out a blueprint of your camp. You want to plan a layout. You want to include your living quarters, your crafting stations, your defensive structures. This meticulous approach ensures a well-organized and functional camp. Now, you might be thinking, blueprint, huh? Like, how the hell am I going to come up with a plan or design using blueprints? Well, blueprints in this game are very helpful. And most of this camp here was used with blueprints. For instance, these pillars, you can see, blueprint. Those back ones, blueprint. This front part where I have these right here, blueprint. These right here, not supposed to be at all, blueprint. And I could go on and on about the different blueprints that there are, that I have, that are useful to you guys. We have this one, this pillar. We have this. This is just a regular half circle of the wavy willard columns. We have an anywhere wall, for instance. If you're having issues with, placing some wall specifically, but you want a wall to be there, just have this blueprint. And, it's easy to say said and done, but I guess you could take this from the video and try to place it yourself and make a similar one. This here looks like the bow of a ship. This is a chimney piece that's supposed to be only placed on top of fireplaces. But if you put a duck or any small object, you can actually place the chimney itself. I have different circle designs, small ones, big ones, ones that are full, ones that are medium. I have a perfect circle pillar of the wavy willards that I made. I have this, which is the wavy willard walls. I have this with a cutout square for the foundation if you want to put anything there. I have columns. I have a double door. I have these posts where you can put steric entries on, float up a camp. I have this, which is what I used on this camp. I have this, which is also what I used on this camp. I have a lodge with a working fireplace. I have mats that are, pretty helpful when I need to place something. I can get rid of them after. I have a staple. I have a bigger one. I have a greenhouse with a staple on top. I could go on and on. So I think a good approach is making a layout, and even drawing one I think will help. Just get the idea. You think about this game grid pattern for a lot of the floors and foundations and walls, but using these blueprints or getting anybody that has these blueprints will help with making camps that are abnormal. Obviously this one right here is a pentagon, definitely not supposed to be in the game. That's not a pentagon, I'm sorry, that's a hexagon. Please don't come out for me, or come for me. I have a stair wall where your stairs are against the wall. This is the pentagon. This right here is an anywhere stair. And so, having blueprints like that really opens a lot of doors for you. And so that's also another thing you want to take into account when approaching a build. Here I have jumped to my other camp. As you can see, the scenery is beautiful. I have a lake or a pond, big mountainside, beautiful overlook, and my castle. So my castle here is on a ridge. Here I have it right on the edge of this hang, but it overlooks Watoga, overlooks the Cranberry Bog region. I can actually see nuclear bombs exploding in the background when dropped on the Queen. Super awesome. Your step 3 when approaching something even the magnitude of this is starting with solid foundations. Use a combination of floors, stairs. It'll help create elevated platforms for allowing a multi-level camp that maximizes space and provides, better openness and a feel to it. Now, I bet you guys are thinking, well, with this camp, dude, this must have taken you forever. Yes, it did, but well worth it because, look at it, it's a castle. But if you look here, this whole castle is a facade. I can go onto the inside, nothing. There's nothing on the inside. I have these Faznet bonfires because they emit light even to the outside. They allow a glow. So I have some even up here. And up here I have, some few little added features from the exterior you can see. You can see a candle in that one. But the interior is here. As, if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. I'll have a whole video on this camp specifically. But that's a shelter. And inside the shelter, I have my interior. So when you click this, you're looking forward, you click it, you're going into a location just as if you're in the game, in the wasteland, and it feels like you're going into an actual location on the map. Now, with this camp, I use blueprints, as you can tell. And like I said, blueprints are so helpful down the line if you want to get into building like this. And also another thing, I don't want to direct this to people who want to build stuff like this. If you want to build just a normal camp, your 4th step when approaching an efficient camp is you want to have efficient resource management. You want to place resource generating structures strategically, connect them with wires if they need to be, wired up. Keep an eye on your budget to avoid exceeding the limit, because when you hit the limit, let me tell you, it'll set a fire in your soul. And you also want to dedicate a section for crafting stations. You need to group them together for easy access, and this, not only streamlines your crafting process, but it also enhances the overall functionality of your camp. Now, like I said, with this camp, there's no functionality. It's just a facade. It's so much of a facade that I had to make a shelter as my interior because I used all my budget. And, I used all my budget due to these wavy willard columns. These torches do not help. Over here on the side, I have a little area where it's, fenced in. I got a well, I got a tree sap collector. But that goes hand in hand with the resources. And I think what also comes into a camp if you're wanting to make, you know, not necessarily something like this, your sixth step, I don't know if I said fifth for the crafting stations, but that's what that was. Your sixth step. In the wasteland, there are real threats. There are things that will pop up and do shit. If you do not want your camp being bombarded, you need to fortify your camp. You need to have defense mechanisms, turrets, traps. You need to have them strategically placed. And it can literally make all the difference between a safe haven and a raider's target. So you really need to take a lot of that into account. I just want to reiterate to you guys, you don't have to make anything like this. You just, if you want to make a clean, simple camp for yourself, I think this guide is one of those ones that will help you open your ideas, but also give you a good idea on what you should and what you shouldn't do. Now, for step 7, you need to add a personal touch, of course, to every camp. You need to add decorations, furniture. This not only makes your camp feel like home, but it also boosts your overall mood and well-being in the harsh wasteland. I think you guys should really just take into account what you like, not what everybody else likes. You need to do stuff that you feel is good and not what other people might think is good. You need to, you know, build your camp as your own. Screw what everybody else thinks. Seriously, guys, you need to have a personal touch to your camp. And I think for the next step, for step 8, what people really don't think about or consider, and what people really should consider, is teaming up with a fellow vault dweller, with one of your buddies, somebody you play with, or somebody that you know that might be good at building. You know, maybe have a communal camp. Pulling resources and skills that leads to more elaborate and efficient camps. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I think you guys really need to take into account what you can do on your own, but also what you can do with other people. And I think honestly, it just helps elevate this game. And I think a lot of the community now, long term, I think a lot of the community is building. It's all personal preference when it comes to building in this game. I think you guys, you know, and I'm not, you know, doing all the fancy editing and stuff, but I want to be for real with you guys. I want to tell you what I think and what I know. I played this game long enough to understand what it takes to not only have an enjoyable time, but to also appreciate how to build. And there you go, guys. There you have it. I hope this step-by-step guide helped. And I know it wasn't a step-by-step on the specifics on, you know, placing things and making a camp. But if you guys are interested in a more in-depth video on how I would approach a build similar to this or any of the other ones, don't hesitate to comment or reach out to me, PSN. Text Samarifer is my PSN. Here's my YouTube channel. Comment down below if you guys are interested in anything else. I hope you guys liked this, you know, meticulous guide to building a perfect camp in Fallout 76. I hope you guys survive, thrive, and make the wasteland your home. Until next time, stay vigilant and stay alive.